Hello everyone, welcome back to Lynn Lowdown, and today we have on a very special guest, the mayor of the city of Lynn, Jared Nicholson. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Of course, I know. I mean, your schedule is always so busy, and so is ours, so I'm glad we were able to make it work, let you come on and really speak about. There's so much you do as an outward-facing mayor, which is a good thing. People see you everywhere, but this is a little bit about what you do, your additional, I guess, responsibilities you talked about, which is the, I want to make sure I get this right, Massachusetts Municipal Association meeting that you just did last month. And could you explain what that is? Because I'll be honest, I had to Google it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I really appreciate the interest in this, and I think it's a great opportunity to share more about what I do. So the Massachusetts Municipal Association is a group of all the cities and towns in Massachusetts, of which there are 351, and most are members, most are membership-driven organization, and it covers all the municipal affairs as a sort of trade association representing municipalities, really mostly at the state level, and then also, you know, as a resource for local governments, cities and towns. And the mayors have a sort of subgroup under the Massachusetts Municipal Association, the Mass Mayors group, and we have monthly meetings around the Commonwealth on different topics.
So what was July's topic? What were you discussing?
So July's topic, the sort of feature content was a discussion about solid waste, which is a very important municipal topic. So trash, particularly trash contracts, and trash from a municipal perspective is typically divided into two areas. There is the pickup or hauling, so mostly at this point it's performed by third-party vendors, so the vendor that picks up the trash, and then disposal or tipping, like where the trash goes, and the city pays for both those things. So there was a representative from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection to talk, and then also a third-party expert who actually is ties to Lynn. She's terrific, and they talked about sort of best practices, how to think about the concept and what to look for, and so on and so forth. The way these are structured is typically there's like a networking period in the very beginning when everyone gets there, and then there's one or two main presentations. It might be an expert, oftentimes it's a state official. The governor usually does one once a year, and then the various secretariats, and then after the panel or presentation that's a formal topic, the head of the MMA, a person named Adam Chapdelaine, who used to be the town manager of Arlington, and he took over the MMA in the last couple of years, gives a legislative update. So part of what the MMA does is advocate for cities and towns in the legislature on state affairs, and so he presents everything that's happening in the State House that might affect us in the future, particularly on the budget. That's a big part of that. And so that's how those are normally structured.
So yeah, money's a big one. Everything runs on it, and like you were saying, it keeps. There's so many municipalities, even with the mayors, there's 47 of you. It keeps you all connected, and it's not like, you know, Lynn isn't just one separate entity that doesn't interact with anyone else. You learn from each other, you grow with each other, and you can see how to move into the future together. Right,
exactly. You know, the issues we have in Lynn are very similar to the issues that Brockton is having, New Bedford is having, and we get to swap insight, share best practices, brainstorm and problem solve issues that we're facing that are similar, and so that's definitely one benefit of getting together, and that happens both in the sessions and sort of in the informal times that are before and after. Another huge benefit of getting together is the power of the collective advocacy. So, you know, Lynn is one of 351 cities and towns, so we have an issue that we are looking to get more attention from the state or federal government or whoever. It's easy for that to get drowned out with everything else that's happening, but when cities are speaking with a collective voice, that goes a lot further in sort of swaying the conversation in a way that would benefit municipalities.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to not listen to 351 different people as opposed to one or two.
Right.
It's louder by nature.
Exactly. And that doesn't mean that all 351 cities and towns agree on everything
No,
either.
of course not.
So, and that's, I think, an interesting part of this is finding those issues that touch us and that there's a consensus on how we should respond. And that sometimes is through the MMA, it's through other groups as well. The Metropolitan Area Planning Council, which is the regional planning agency, has a group called the Metro Mayors Coalition. And then historically, that was Boston and then 7 or 8 of the surrounding municipalities. Lynn was part of the North Shore group. But actually this past year, we joined the Metro Mayors, the Greater Boston Mayors. We're still involved in the North Shore group, but that's another forum for municipal voices to be heard. And then there's also the gateway cities. That's a statutory designation, so state law defines what a gateway city is. There's 26 of them around the Commonwealth, and sometimes we get together in that capacity. The Mass Inc., which is a sort of statewide think tank, does a lot of work specifically on gateway cities, so that's a forum where we've gathered as well.
You were at that also last month, Mass Inc. They held one specifically for gateway cities.
Yep.
Like you were speaking about the maybe unique challenges that could be presented there, and it looked like they did so much about it, like economic development, energy, revitalizing downtown areas, because you said things that Lynn are doing could be very similar to what other gateway cities are really focusing some of their efforts on. Exactly.
A lot of these gateway cities were regional economic hubs that suffered from deindustrialization as the jobs and tax base fled the downtowns, and have put forward creative strategies to revitalize and identify growth and exist as, I think, a real important asset for the Commonwealth as a place where there's room to grow, that have the sort of bones and readiness for growth, and exactly in the moment where the Commonwealth is trying to figure out how it can grow, housing stock and job base.
And I will ask, you're coming towards the end of your first term, if you can believe it. I mean, it feels like 4 years is so fast, but looking at it now, you're a little bit of a seasoned mayor. Do you feel like your views or the way you approach these meetings has changed as opposed to when you were a little bit of a younger or newer mayor, I should say, maybe like your first year or so? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think I have really benefited from going to these kinds of meetings over the years, and whereas in the beginning everything was new and everything was a learning curve, there are a lot of issues that are coming up in municipalities that have come up with us and Lynn before that I'm able to offer insight. And the other thing that's interesting is that I've now gotten to know folks. So as opposed in the beginning where everybody was a new face, it has over time given me an opportunity to develop relationships so that I can reach out to folks outside of these meetings or on particular issues, and that's both of the people that are around the table in the MMA, but also the kind of state officials and experts that come and go.
And I give you credit for remembering all those people and names, because I mostly do okay, but sometimes I look at a person and go, oh no, the name's not coming.
Well, I do try, but what's easy about this meeting is that if you call anybody mayor, you can't go wrong.
That's true. Just say hi, mayor.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And at the most recent, this Mass Inc. Gateway Cities Leadership, I liked what it was called. It was the momentum in the making. I really liked that theme behind it, because reading through some of the notes, that's really what they seem to be doing. So taking any momentum we have now, driving towards the future, the way that energy will work, the way that housing needs to be built or revitalized. Did you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. They had some great examples of projects that were happening in gateway cities around the Commonwealth. that certainly fit that bill and the momentum in the making. Mass Inc. has been a champion for gateway cities from the beginning, and they have a great team, and Ben Foreman there, Andre LaRue, others that push these issues every day. And then we're also fortunate to be in a time where the state administration is really supportive. So at that meeting was Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, former Gateway City mayor, right next door to us. So she really gets it and had a lot of great insight as to how we can continue to drive progress forward.
And I will ask too, how often do these meetings occur? One of them's monthly, but then what about the other? How often do they meet?
Yeah, so the Mass Mayors Association meets monthly. I think the January is a conference that is open to anybody statewide, and that happens in January. It's like their annual meeting, and then the mayors have like a sub meeting at that. And then the rest of the year it's monthly, and then the Gateway City mayors, that Mass Inc., I think that's an annual event that they do, and then they have sort of ad hoc meetings. They have a monthly call for the economic development representatives from Gateway Cities. The Metro Mayors Coalition, that is through MAPC, a lot of acronyms, I know, is more ad hoc, I think roughly quarterly for that one.
Okay, so that's not, they're not all every month, they're not all once a year. It's a good, you're spread out a little bit, I think.
Right. Yeah, and of course, we have a lot going on as mayor, so not everybody makes every meeting, and sometimes you can't stay for the whole thing, and so on and so forth. But yeah.
And economic development, I mean, you hear that word constantly. Lynn has EDIC here, but that's something that's the theme now, is economic development. How do you do it? How do you help drive your economy forward?
Right.
That really seems to be the big topic now in general, but also really right now.
Yeah, no, it's a huge topic of conversation. A lot of the gateway cities have downtowns that have characteristics that are similar to Lynn. A lot of them are trying to build the kind of mixed use downtown that we have and are hoping to grow. What I think we have that's unique and unique asset and opportunity is our waterfront, and how much potential there is there, and how much is already starting to come to life. You have a whole part of the city that's right on the Atlantic Ocean, so close to the downtown that it could totally be transformed with the right investment, and which is starting to happen. And so that kind of almost tapped potential is a unique strength that we have here in Lynn.
Oh, it is. I mean, yeah, you walk 5 minutes and you're at the ocean. You walk over here downtown. It's very uniquely structured, and I think that the city leadership, you've done a great job really vitalizing that. And you said we're starting to see the next steps, so we'll have to have you on again as you get further into those steps and you really see it become transformed. Yeah,
I'd be happy to. I mean, I think we're starting to see some of that happen before our eyes, but there's some great thought and planning happening about how to take it even further that we're really excited about.
Well, again, Mayor, I have to thank you so much for coming on again. So far, the growth has been really, really exciting, and I'm really excited to see what you do in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. And you can learn more about Mayor Nicholson by, of course, visiting City Hall or any of their online resources. But for now, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.